Huh?
All right, everybody, welcome.
Yeah,
We are live.
Jeff. I will, Jeff. I will.
This is breaking news right now. FSD Supervise has just been approved in the Netherlands. This is announced by Tesla. This is the Tesla Europe account saying FSD has been approved in the Netherlands and will begin rolling out in the country shortly. Trained on billions of kilometers of real-world driving data, it can drive you almost anywhere under your supervision, from residential roads to city streets and highways. No other vehicle can do this. We're excited to bring FSD Supervise to more European countries soon. They shared a video, and there was also statements directly from RDW. And if you look at it, the statements they said is fantastic. Safety is paramount for the RDW. The proper use of this driver system makes a positive contribution to road safety. We've got joining us today, Jeff Lutz, who's always here with us for breaking news. And we got Kees Roland Chapo. How do I say your last name? Roland Chapo. He's from Europe. Tell us where you're from. And yeah, you've been waiting for this, right? Where are you at right now?
Midnight. I've been waiting for this. Yeah, it's midnight. It's 15 past midnight. Based in Amsterdam, currently situated in Amsterdam too. This is my Amsterdam apartment.
Yeah.
Small but nice. But I was so excited. I woke up this morning. Usually I get up around 9 a.m. But today I woke up at 7. I was super excited, and I was waiting. And I had some of my spies saying, it might come. And then maybe 30 minutes just prior to the launch, I got the notification, and I was in a bar, so excuse me if I'm a little bit tipsy. Just opened the champagne for this, because this is a monumental moment in history. It's finally there. I just paid 7,500 euros straight out of my pocket. I'm going to be the first to get these FSD drives in. I'm super excited, guys. And thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, thank you, because of all the people I know in Europe, you're the one that has been lobbying, working really hard to make this happen. So thank you for all the work you're doing. How big of a deal is this, Jeff? I do have a list of all the countries where FSD is already approved, where it's pending approving, where it's going next. I'll show that shortly. But how big of a deal is Europe for FSD to be approved? Or not Europe, sorry, Netherlands, specifically RDW.
Specifically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Keith, obviously, congrats to you and everybody in the Netherlands. This is the gateway that opens it up for the rest of Europe. It wasn't just an approval. It doesn't look like it just eked by. It looks like the regulators were saying, we've been looking at this for over a year and a half. And we think, with the in-cabin monitoring plus just the performance of the FSD system, that this is going to be net safer, to make our roads net safer. So this is a big deal. This was, and I think it is a gateway for other countries. In Europe, is I think about 1.2 million Teslas sold since 2020. You could probably go back a little bit further in Europe, maybe get up to 1.5 million. And this could again open up another stream of revenue. But really, honestly, this is about Tesla AI and Tesla autonomy going beyond the shores of North America. And then we had an approval in Australia, which is a big deal, and South Korea. But the continent of Europe is a huge deal, and this is the start.
Lekkere hesperolletjes met witloof. Dat kan tellen. Dankzij Lidl.
Hier is een probleem.
Moet je weer de weg op?
Take a look at this statement here directly from the RDW, because I think that tells you a little bit about how serious they are. And they said, due to the continuous strict monitoring of the driver in the vehicle, the system is safer than other driver assistance systems. We have thoroughly researched and checked this system more than a year and a half. Fantastic comment. Wes, in charge of the Cybertruck program for Tesla European roads, just got a lot safer. Here's the actual explanation, RDW, on European type approval. When you read this, Keith, is there anything here that stood out to you?
Nothing specifically, and I know, like, especially the second paragraph about here, like the who is driving, who's responsible.
Yeah.
That's been a major talking point throughout the whole process of regulations, and especially they call it over reliance. And this is their go-to argument why it's still not self-driving. And okay, we kind of get it, and it's the same as in the US. You are still responsible, but the fact of the matter is that, okay, even though you're responsible, it takes away so much pressure of the driving task. And I was in the US last summer.
Yeah.
I've crossed 33 state borders.
Yeah.
I've done 30,000 miles, an unreal amount of miles in just 2 months. And I did 95% of my driving on FSD. I was eating my yogurt, I was
Yeah.
clipping my nails, and like
We don't
it's
want to know what else you were doing.
okay. I'm quite tipsy. I could tell you, but
Yeah, it's
but
okay.
excuse me, guys.
It's a good point. You're happy. You're happy, right?
I'm super happy. It's like it's unreal. Like I have my cigarette in my hand all the time. But like,
Well, the reason you're happy because obviously it's going to be approved, and I'm going to show the list of other countries. But Europe was never one of those. You just don't know what they're going to do, right? Regulation, they just
they were
push it, they push it.
pushing, and it
Yeah.
was a lot of like lobbying from the legacy OEMs
Yeah.
that were shouting at the top of their lungs back in 2019, 2020. They were saying we're going to reach autonomy in 2025 too. Where are they? And they keep on retracting their statements. And which company is the only company that followed through and stayed persistent on their goal? The only company out there is Tesla. They had the balls, they had the persistence, and they figured their way, and they found their way. It's like this is a big kudos to Elon, and a big kudos to the whole autopilot team, and especially um, the policy team. The policy team, I know, like internally, they switched places. A lot of people went away, but the hard work they put
Yeah.
in and the amount of no's they needed to counter and just keep on grinding, and they made it. So this is like a big W for the policy team, especially. So kudos to the policy team of Tesla.
Can you guys explain to me that this is the actual statement from the RDW? So now that it's approved formally, FSC Supervise is approved formally in the Netherlands, how does this become an EU wide? And I heard that by the summer it could become EU wide.
Well, this is a very interesting piece, actually, because the regulation usually comes top down. So we have always been told, and the fact of the matter is that it is UN ECE that makes the regulations, and then all member states of the United Nations that participate in this specific regulation, it gets top down from the UN. It's a very slow process because the first draft came out already in 2021 for DCAS regulations. Mark van Impe, legend, now works for SpaceX. He was like the founding father of this regulation, but there were people blocking him, blindsiding him. And then there's also the EU, like the European Commission, that makes like regulations. But the funny thing is, the EU, the EU is a member state to the UN, but the RDW is the governing body, like the type approval body in Europe. So every single vehicle that gets a type approval in Europe gets an E4 stamp from the RDW and gets approved Europe-wide. But the European Union has this specific exemptionary article in their regulations that when a specific type of technology is mature enough and is not captured within the regulatory bodies, they can ask for an exemption. So this exemption is granted, but this is very, very fun actually. And this makes me super excited because now Tesla gets this exemption and that puts them above everything else. So now the EU, as well as the UNECE, need to follow suit by something that Tesla got the exemption for. So now they need to respond, they need to react. And that's actually quite big. So it's a big baller move on Tesla's end. And yeah, I'm very curious what will happen, but the RDW giving their approval means that in the EU, this approval can be taken and just implemented in other countries and member states as well.
Just like that. Yeah.
So,
and how many member states are there? Because is it like 19?
EU member states might be
27, I thought.
27.
27, 30-ish. Yeah, definitely.
Woo! This is going to be good. So that's why this is such a big deal. It's like,
It
yeah,
might
sure,
be
it's
domino.
Netherlands.
It's
a domino
effect. It's a domino
Yeah.
effect. And the countries, the states that don't abide or don't follow this, they're going to get a big backlash because the more people that use it, the more
Yeah.
people get convinced and the more bottom up stuff you're going to experience from a regulatory and a government point of view. Yeah, it's exciting times ahead.
Yeah, there's a fast track and there's a slower boat. But I mean, the fast track could basically the Netherlands has to notify the the EU member states like, hey, this is done. And I've seen a fast track could be 4 to 8 weeks, some point later in the spring. And then, it could be a couple months longer than that. I think there's kind of a fast, a medium, and a slower track, but we'll see how this plays out. But I think it's exactly how you described it. And there's a lot of approvals potentially coming from this. This, like, I think it's a good terminology or analogy of a domino.
Wow. Okay. So we've got FSD supervised now approved in United States, of course, Canada and Mexico, Puerto Rico, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, and then Netherlands. So all of this is now the list, but can you imagine those 27, 29 states you guys talked about in Europe? And then China, apparently, hearing rumors, it's coming, if not next quarter, the following soon. China and Abu Dhabi is supervised trials already launched March 1st. We know a partial approval for China happened, but we're waiting for the full approval. There's signs in the software that looks like that is going to happen. And then you've got, so what's going to happen? Yeah, so 27 countries. There you go. That's what it says here. Triggers mutual recognition process. Tesla said summer 2026. Germany, France, Italy, Belgium, Austria, Nordics expected to follow. Israel said that the transport minister himself said it's coming soon. Trials approved for
quite early on. Like that was a couple months ago. Like the news that Israel would come out was.
Met Revolut hou je je uitgaven gemakkelijk bij.
This is not a backpack. This is a 40-liter precision engineered solution to pack with smarter, moving.
Was already known, right?
Yeah, and same with Japan and in your case. So these are ones that are coming. I was going to ask you, what's going to happen to these ride-alongs? Is that continuing now that this is approved?
It is, and some are being extended because it's still unsure whether or not it's allowed. And that's, I think, also mainly part of the reason why they started with the border crossing notification, right? Within FSD. Well, if you're about to cross a border, you get an in-vehicle on-screen notification that you're about to cross a border and that FSD supervised functionality might deteriorate. So they put that in for a reason. And I think that'll stay for a while because it's just a waiting game. And now it's up to national authorities within the EU, which still have some like discretionary space to move, to follow suit, because there's still no like supranational legislation for this.
Jeff, do you think that the recent version 14.3 had anything to do with this, or they did the study on the old version, right? Do
Yeah,
you think that
they're using older versions. I was going to ask Keith when he was. I mean, if you were here last summer, you're probably using version 13.
Well, both actually.
Yeah.
I tried 14 as well. So I was driving a Matt Smith's car, and he had a Model X with FSD 14.
Oh, okay. So it's been later.
Yeah, but most of my I was there in like July, August.
14
Still
came out.
still some navigation errors, but mostly super smooth. But I would say like 80% of my drives was FSD V13.
Yeah, it's
So
going to be a lot better. What you see now is just going to be.
well, I did my fair share of ride-alongs, and especially last Friday, I had this special invite from Tesla to go on a specific ride-along session again, and I noticed that the version changed from a couple weeks before, and I also noticed some on-screen notifications that were never apparent in US versions, and I do believe that they were specific RDW requirements within the testing period to make it even better, and they took that like 2-week time frame just for the last little bit of conviction, or like how do you say that,
Yeah.
like that they would need to get it
Yeah.
approved, and now we're here. So I do think we get a slightly adjusted version of what you guys are having, but very similar still.
Yeah, I mean, the 14.2 series that's been out here for several months is really stable. So I think Europe's in for a treat. You've been on the ride-alongs. You've been in the U.S. You probably are more experienced than most people. But for other people that are watching this from Europe, just my experience has been it's life-changing. Riding an FSD it's life-changing. So
they're going to jump from highway autopilot to all of a sudden this thing's driving me everywhere. They'll just be shocked.
Jeff, I'm going to tell you a funny quote. I was in the US, and I noticed that my dad would really love to like come to the US. So I decided to buy him a ticket, flew him into San Francisco.
Nice.
And I was just about to return my Model Y with FSD and trade it in for a Bronco rental.
Okay.
It's a decent car still, but my dad he's almost 70. Right now he is 70. And he was quite anxious to start driving in the US. It's everything new and blah, blah. So I said, here, take my phone. That's the key. Step in, double tap. It'll take you to your destination. So we needed to drive, I think, 30 minutes from, I don't know where, to San Francisco, where the X takeover was. And he got out of the car and he was like, wow, this FDS is awesome. And I said, okay, first of all, it's FSD, but okay. But it took him 30 minutes, start to finish, in a V13 vehicle. So I just left all my friends. I was in a bar drinking. I thought, FSD ain't gonna happen. I was checking my phone. So, okay, dude, the first one I'm gonna call is my dad. So I woke him up and I said, dude, FSD just got approved. And he said, hold up.
Yeah.
Ordering my Model Y right now with
FSD. No way. No way.
He just ordered it outright.
Wow.
Yeah. It's it's life changing, especially for older people.
Somebody. Yes.
Absolutely.
He can drive now. Yeah.
It's unreal. Just pick them up, put them in another city that they're not used to, FSD will take care of like 95%, if not more, of your drive.
Yeah. So you've been testing this in Netherlands. Have you tested a ride-along in other countries in Europe?
Toute personne qui s'inscrit ce mois-ci et dépose seulement 250 € recevra un premier revenu.
Yeah, I did so in France. I did so in Germany. No difference. It just responds the same. It's a very mature driver.
The rules are different. The road signs are different, right? How different are they?
It's not that different. I would say typically Dutch roads are very safe. Signage is very clear. The tarmac is perfect. Like, we live in a very good country. But if you go to other countries like Spain or Italy, the merge-in lanes are very short. There are some difficult situations, but in general, and that's, I think, a big kudos to the regulators. We can do that from time to time. They're not all full of BS. Since the 50s, they try to harmonize road signage, road regulations. They did quite a good job. Not still there yet, 70 years down the line. But however, it's very similar, and most of the rules are the same. So there are like minor adjustments that you would need to make. But then again, for the past 2 years, Tesla has been testing in, let's say, 7 or 8 or maybe 9 countries throughout the EU with all these minor differences, and it just worked. So it's not insurmountable or anything, not at all.
Well, we look forward to seeing all the videos from everyone starting in the Netherlands, and just the experiences. Again, it's life-changing. You're less stressed, you're safer. It sees things before you see them, especially at dusk or dawn and challenging lighting. It's a much safer experience, and it looks like in this 14.3 version, it is even much more responsive to things. So this is going to be really exciting for Europe. I'm very happy for everyone. I got to run here, Herbert. And
very good. Yeah. This is great cover.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think this is a great thing.
Wonderful. Thank you both. So we've got approval for FSD Supervise in the Netherlands. Tesla Europe announced it as well. And the idea would be, once it's approved in one of these countries, in this case, Netherlands, the 29 other EU partners, countries will also get it as well. Thank you, Keys. Appreciate it. Now time for you to go to sleep, party more. Appreciate you.
I won't be able to sleep. I'm gonna finish this bottle of champagne. I got already one waiting for me in the cooler. Like, this is my freaking day, buddy.
This is you deserve it. Again, the work you did to make this happen is fantastic. Appreciate you and the team out there. Thanks, everybody. Bye, all.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Une bonne roulade au chicon, ça vaut le coup. Grâce à Lidl.